as we receive the panel, we get before we the Chief Minister, the Oga by the Minister, Dr. Moinina Sengeh, and the bar in 30% quota. On the panel, we have Mrs. Kariaso Ali from the Ministry of Finance. On the far side, who do we see? It is the Energy Minister, Deputy One, Dr. Edward Tunde Taylor. So it tells us we can talk about energy. The Alabama, the energy business, and the day before we. So before we go forward, now look at the updates of the past week. According to the updates, with President being amongst the 10 other head of states and government, we go by one meeting in Kenya. They call them the International Development Association. The purpose of that meeting was a World Bank meeting for discuss the way forward on the new trajectory in financing development in Africa. On the 27th, also, the President addressed the nation on Independence Day. He tell the one that when you go ask him with one for free will, he tell them thank you for taking that bold step, for saying one day for himself. So the President will address me. He talked about the challenges what we only faced in the energy sector and the plans we can get. You know, say we face challenge economically and otherwise. You know, shy away from the reality. But we give hope to the people. We will continue for the year. We also see a press release where we say Dr. Alhaji Kandasisi resigned as a minister at the Ministry of Energy. On the 26th, they said after a fruitful discussion with power producers of electricity in the system, government through the Ministry of Finance and the Minister of Energy has paid 70 million. So, car power ship, the government will give $17 million through the Ministry of Finance. After Boku discussion, Boku engagement, we don't see lights, don't return. Whether enough will continue or not, it's not the purpose to be there. And I really people living in this market. On the 22nd, I said we Minister of Justice, Honorable Mohammed Lamichuri, Esquire, in Morocco, for also look at justice in Africa. We deliberate on how far as a nation we don't go in terms of justice. We will with my colleagues for discourse in the matter. On the 24th, same justice business. So I joined the Board of Justice Action Coalition as a way of showcasing the country's commitment to promoting access to justice for the citizens. The country had made significant strides in improving its justice system, including the expansion of legal aid services on the 24th April in Freetown. There was also some seminar on how far citizens get access to justice. These are the few updates before we come proper. Mr. Chief Minister, sir. But here we play by the rules. We are going to schedule 12 minutes to the Chief Minister, 8 minutes to the other ministers for Leone to go through some of the concerns. The purpose of this press conference, like we don't always state, for bringing journalists face to face with major key players in our economy. We want to narrow the space of rumor and then say, so that when you have access to verifiable information, you have access to relevant and correct information, as a journalist, they expect you for put out the correct information. That is why we try to level best for sustain this press conference. And we know these people who speak English and Creole people, so that one of the way out of this week, na pitiful, na kimanama, they don't understand what you say, because now them they affect. CM sir, the concern from the Ministry of Information, we want to address to the people is, in the last 2 weeks, what could happen? The whole city, they just dark. Any side way we pass, like we want to do nothing for all kind of power, because electricity is a political commodity. It continues to the extent the minister stepped aside. Just as the minister stepped aside, we see finance announcing they don't pay $17 million to the car power ship. And we see lights are back. There are a lot of mixed feelings. People don't even understand. And there are things where we also need for clear to people. Shutdown of car power ship, resignation of the minister, finance response for pay that kind amount. What is happening, sir? People want to know all this strategy we have, all this reform that we don't make, we don't make it see light. Is it going to be sustainable? Where are we? 30 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, and good afternoon to the family. I want to use, maybe I know we talk 12 minutes, but I want to use this short time for situate the presentation into three. One, inside we did now, the status, the progress up to today. I want to talk about the crisis, and then maybe I will let the Minister of Energy for me to talk about how they go into the future, and same with the Deputy Minister of Finance. The first thing where I want to start with is that not one person get this problem. Not to Ministry of Energy problem alone, not to Ministry of Finance problem alone, not to we, the citizen, then problem alone. Now all man get this problem. That's number one. There's no reason for me to blame anybody. Plenty man they work from morning till internet to address them problem that day. And if we don't get within they expect, that not means they know they work. It just means they don't meet some of the expectations then. And during the last 2 weeks, me down the online, I don't hear people who calls, I don't receive Boku calls, I don't receive all kinds of other people then I don't receive all kind of calls. I just want to tell we fellow citizens and say we don't hear you now. And that we continue to work hard for make sure see then concern them day and then issue them day we make una the calls or the hala. We also care about them or address them not just for during the crisis, but at the end of the day we will get within we don't say accessible, affordable, renewable, sustainable energy. Time that now what the name of that future day now we all imagine. The Ministry of Energy don't publish plenty time who sign with it. Today, the available energy in the country, with it today, we get more energy today in the country available when crisis not day pass how it been day 2 years ago, pass how it been day 6 years ago, pass how it been 10 years ago. This includes Freetown. That means say we deny say challenges nothing. The number of subsidy, the amount of money with government and then maybe the Ministry of Finance will tell we don't put inside energy sector. It plenty pass waiting we don't ever do. Now energy concern with the government, who's the Cobra governments and then denying governments that puts money inside it for we. And we understand, say if we say something happen, we forget all that good way we know they happen. And say, this na hell, the place bad. When they talk about network expansion, we don't bring a new cable there, new additional network where they bring redundancy in the system. So in one side well, be able to get like still, not to all side of well. We don't invest and the minister can talk about the good transformer then we get for kind and you can tell you the kind of impacts. We don't see who sign projects and we bring more megawatts inside the system. We get 4 towns there. Moyamba, Pujon, Kailao, Bonds, we get Kabbalah, Cambia, we government self-go see them who get lights. Again, they don't get lights. We get about 120 communities there. We get lights. They don't get lights. Maybe they don't want to get lights at the life. But then get renewable energy. Then be able to access the beginning of the school. Then we see that the impacts by education. Then communities and how they begin to do well for quality education, how the health facilities do well. Nearly 120 and more before them. That not means say if blackouts in the area are mentioned, say you get communities and way now they access lives, that means they will not respect you. Both are true. So when government say they don't expand energy access by 2 times, not to lie, not to we go talk not to we go talk that people that independently go measure. So yes, blackouts day in the area in Wilkinson Road, and yes, lights day in Sinkunia, na Falaba. Both true. Important where we do say, it's possible for where we say government don't increase energy access 2 times. It's possible for maybe say government don't buy meter them where would they install. It's possible for maybe say we pay more money still to the energy sector as individuals because we don't put subsidy, and still government they pay subsidy back. And how and why? Not just because of the cost of the fuel, who they buy to car power, because cost of energy don't high on all sides. Electricity Germany, government they pay for energy for subsidized. The problem is, we don't sound like Germany or other places who get beaucoup extra money. So it means say, we as citizens need for also play our role. And I need to mention this. Because I get some party there, where you talk, say, even when people get the cable and how then they affect and they say, can't say, oh, that's also excuse. So to them, if I'm moved, and them can even really understand. My explain and simple one. The network will begin as Salon today in a Freetown because of how the energy infrastructure is. Even if we count with unlimited amounts of energy, Multi can say Freetown need 100 megawatts for making all the energy. If you can't today, you say you have Freetown, they give you 10,000 megawatts. We all know we get light. Why? Because the infrastructure not able to absorb that 10,000 megawatts day. The maximum way they able take limited about 80 megawatts. I want men to really understand this. Freetown, we demand for energy. If all of we want light get light, now 100 megawatts. The cable there with it and the transformer there with it. If we put as many infinite amounts of energy, now only 80 megawatts be able to take. That means even when government don't pay a government to produce energy, some man will still get blackouts until we change that infrastructure the way we do right now. You know, they just grab and you build 1,000 kilometer cable. We don't see the development in the eastern, we see people and they go up. But even though the other day I see one must have bang and back, the trailer. So you only take one day for change the network, we don't last for 63 years, actually longer, 8 years. You take years for building pool and they, boost their cable and they, and then we don't they do. So when we say they invest in energy, but people don't see and then we mean that we change the network and the infrastructure so that at the end of the day, when we come with that 1,000 megawatts, then you'll be able to take out. Second point I want to make about citizen responsibility. And me, some man there, me I talk true. They say, no, me own politics and my own governance, and we too, they do me I talk. We have plenty church there, plenty mosque there, and yes, plenty ministry there. Needless to say, plenty of we host there with a thief light. If I talk, I mean say a bad, well a bad. We have plenty church there, plenty mosque there, plenty ministry there, and yes, plenty of we host there where they pay for light. And yet, now we back the grab and cost the people there where they fetch for me when they pay for light. Now services where we need. If we take the refrigerator, you go connect on a ministry or a clinic for sell yogurt, you know they help you begin there. If you get a church or mosque, then they heat collection every Sunday. And people they will say, no, not so can. But me, I believe so we all are good people there. Now we get to fix this country here. That means that the responsibility for make sure say, hey Father, you pay you like bill, not because Father bad, not because Imam bad. But that me and you responsibility for make sure that the institution they pay. Whole day I ask them minister, they better pay them like bill. We get plenty hosts them. We put coin, we know they put coin on the meter to make it slow down. If coin that you meter and you host, I pay pull on it today. And it's not funny. Because it means that it affects all man, we are all responsible. If you don't go, you go they go give it meter, you bypass sand, now for go report yourself to EXA. If you get company, you dip a domestic meter instead of the bill in the private sector, now for go report yourself. Because what I want to do as citizens, maybe most of them where we say, Papa government, if anybody take like 7 and 10 years in jail, that means they don't want them to go before. That's the conversation we can't be having with governments that go on and invest and all that in there. Maybe you want, wait till I say, if anybody take like, so how many years they for sell and go jail? Anybody. Important. That me and you, we brother them, we sister them, we classmate them, that they back the thief light. On this thing, like 2 areas they were at your reports. They don't get lights since 10 days. We can hear people and say, oh, lights don't cancel for lights in the area. In time they don't, but the chief son of the this minister at the time, because at time is 27 seconds. You know, we there, you did that area. So small roads, for example, will 10 persons. So man say, well, lights not there. Because they got thief the cable. That not mean say, oh, make sure that. It means say, oh, this minister, I don't be understand what to say. The blade thief cable, I make lights not there. I tell we all say, even if unlimited lights there, energy supply there, we all not even get light. So we get for load shedding. If you take Western area, Tego before, from Wilberforce, Tego, because of the transformer with it, it means say lights not going to do. Same Eastern. But even with that day, even in our Spore Road area there, they go thief cable. Same town, then thief cable. Waiting that we own responsibility as citizens for make sure say, because we go thief that cable later, now we have to go buy and back. It take time for go buy and count engineer them for go install and that energy and time when we not be careful for all the use pan and day. And they mentioned this for say the reason we put in this crisis, yes, not financial, yes, thing has, yes, Ministry of Finance need to pay the amount of $48 million. And they don't pay, we see the press release. And yes, we get other people then, like CI Energy, CLSG from Cote d'Ivoire, will then still be reduced. So the reason, Mr. Minister, we make lines up in there, and because we don't pay the debts then. Not so because some people like they say EPSA they pay for lights on the go. EPSA they still pay car power every month. EPSA they still pay the other people every month, but the money they do. Because we get plenty more money than we take lights and use lights much more than they pay. And yes, EPSA we talk, we look we say we talk. EPSA 7 years reform. You get 1,100 people that we work EPSA. We need for look we said that we are and say they all need for the day. We need for look we said that we are and say the infrastructure where they work. Not to blame anybody. But that me and you be brother that they work at EPSA as contractors. Now they say one they go by pass and connect energy, you sabi people there. So if we not talk and look we said that behind, how this country will go before? So Mr. Minister, yes, I deal with it. On one hand, if you take all the different indicators there, plenty indicators don't do well. Access to energy, reduction in better network, renewable energy increase, oh, we don't go better. Yes, we invest for change the network, but the reality is with people they still back the thief. And that thief they means the government they take money, wait for them spend for education, for healthcare, for pay that liability they will be owe. We there today for address that issue today and forget this national conversation. That we could be getting an energy crisis today, but we tell God thank you. As some of them they don't solve, and we try to make changes now. We work with the ministry and ETSA and EGTC and all man for playing their own part. But we ask Una and do them, no one has to play their own part. So we will address the condition the institution they will get. The minister will talk alongside the ministry they go on the future. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mr. Chief Minister. Accountant they can say garbage in, garbage out, meaning which the kinds are not for commerce. Lawyers say you can't give what you won't have. You know that or none are bet. So it means if you get something, you will do. But now the chief minister said with the current infrastructure, no matter what you send, in order the capacity for feed all of freezer. So irrespective of what, we expect say intermittent blackout going around until we change the infrastructure. Other thing we very key, and we make the president add civic education to the Ministry of Information is for increase the knowledge on we own civic responsibility. In Sierra Leone, we feel say government ended ask for everything. Somebody that's not right in his presence, then they do the thing to disturb him. They let it do nothing. It's in a government property. When government property go down, that money we government for puts back other development projects, now you the best. The same Sierra Leoneans, when they move for private sector and do very well, and the same Sierra Leoneans, they work for the public sector and just we say, I for treat government anyhow. And until we change, then what the chief minister say, until we be the catalyst of change, the change of one thing as Sierra Leone, nobody is going to change Sierra Leone. Nobody. God set up inside the Holy Quran and said, you know, they change a nation until the nation ready for change itself. As Sierra Leoneans, we've already look for how we want to see Sierra Leone and position ourselves for getting that Sierra Leone. The minister will tell me how the situation belong be. Not that we have not been doing anything. As today, we better pass how we don't did before. Challenges creep in, and they don't take some reforms. We will listen to the Deputy Minister of Energy and tell you how sustainable these reforms will be and what we expect from the Energy Ministry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, Deputy Minister of Information and Civic Affairs. Honorable Chief Minister and Deputy Minister of Finance, one, and to President of the Fourth Estate, I bring on our greetings from the Ministry of Energy. Good afternoon. Yes, today I'm glad for the at least follow count of the energy family. Because for most of us, we done the support over the years. I'm sure we know exactly what we don't do, as summarized by the Honorable Chief Minister a short while ago. So based on how we don't tailor this particular press conference, I think say we just get for look at what we get for look forward, how we go forward. But notwithstanding, one thing the Chief Minister touched, we also need to go on for the echo, and the fact that we get to be good citizens in this country. Because if Sierra Leone get to go before, by we collective efforts and we actions them, I go make we go before. So it touched on one thing, when we say go echo, and that's not the losses within the EDSA network system. The losses really, really high. Where we believe the majority of the losses then the reasons in that way outlined with respect to all the side with the lost revenue. I'm not going to go over them again. But we say one for join and for appeal to we all that energy, light, and essential service government will provide for the people of this country. And that's make you see say when we get that challenge of the lights, that one 10 days, that 1 week to 10 days, it was all over the news, come under serious attack. So which is why we set one for Roma join me in this fight, particularly against illegal abstraction. And on that note, we as a ministry, working closely with State House now, one of the key actions that now we will work on emphatically, now for make sure that we quickly review the Electricity Act of 2011 as amended in 2017 and 18. And I say this because we get offenses in the Act, penalties in the Act. But looking at the extent of which then crimes here now don't exist, don't they rampant, I think so we need to take a very strong and bold action. So currently we do under review the Atatatwa, and very soon we will call her back to a press conference for inform her. Because this time what we do, we will go into what he say the granular details of the crimes they do. For example, like what he say, you bypass the meter, there is going to be a special punishment for that. You go, you do direct honking of the line, there is going to be a direct penalty for that. You go, you do some kind of, you alter maybe current transformer into the meter, the city there is going to be penalty for that. So we catalog all the various penalties and they when they come back illegal abstraction, we will get specific punitive actions will be under one day after 2 hours I talk to you. Secondly, they talk about the revenue where at least externally collect much as they for collect. And that's it now, we work with partners them as well for make sure that we improve on what we call advanced metering infrastructure, the AMI. This metering infrastructure will record, especially for high-end users, you know, they want to consume a lot of energy, and they record it in real time. So you can even do an office based on the platform we get now at EDSA, for you monitor in real time. So we start with them big customers then. Because EDSA customer base, you get almost 90% of the customers at EDSA when I pay you to domestic. And we always say domestic, the amount of we pay for BioLite is not enough. And which is why when you look at them big customers, they really account for almost 40% of EDSA revenue. We do on that exercise day. Because that is will help for improving the revenue for EDSA. As at yesterday, we don't write official letter to the Chief Minister for the help we talk to finance so that most of them we start calling MDs and we know they pay electricity bills on time so that they will deduct them from source. And that letter they did at the Chief Minister and this now for the attention of the Minister of Finance. We also get plans that now we will try for expedite. For them we get large customers then. We at least will be connected to the grid. I mean, large. I give you an example. When I remember saying about 2 years ago, we been go commission the Octia connection, Octia and Akono. Apparently, we give Octia about 6 to 8 megawatts when they use for the operations. And I can tell you now, the amount of money we Octia they pay, they almost double what we get now like both and Kenya and the revenue combined. So that also a strategy for the EDSA to forget much revenue when it comes to, you know, connecting their large customers again. So these are some of the steps that now we will look at and try to expedite them as quickly as possible. And yesterday also we get a very productive meeting for look at EDSA's kind of operations. Because the elephant in the room is about EDSA, which is why now we deep dive into EDSA for look at how we will improve the processes and procedures to improve on the efficiency. So that is also ongoing because it's an ongoing process. Because we need to get EDSA right. The moment to get EDSA right, I can assure you say at least the light business set will get in this country, which will support. That is where people are not the light. So these are just some of the activities or the plans that we don't get too far in moving forward. And another thing also we come back on very quickly again, we get for informal again and call on the board and get for be partners in that. Now for do an extensive media coverage, particularly in propagating, you know, the bad sides of stealing electricity. That is, we get for propagate the negative consequences nationwide. There is no two way to that. Because we all want the service, and the service is expensive. Which brings us to the question of who side will they get to empower them from as it is. Primarily in Freetown, the guys, we get a lot of power from car powership. Car powership, make I just give you a brief perspective of car power. When we come in 2018 as a government, yes, we meet car power now, but the outgoing government by then, they don't finalize all the agreements. So because the city was dark, and by the other side, remember exactly, we got to engage car power. So we got a 2-year emergency contract, which was between 2018 and 2020. Because we believe so within that 2 years, we will not develop medium-term projects where we succeed car power. But 2 of the projects and we will already develop or we will try for development in the major financiers and they began for pull out of the project. That is the World Bank. They pull out from the expansion of Bunguna 1 to Bunguna 2 and also the Western Area Power Generation Project. So that therefore creates a whole lot of difficulty for me, particularly for Western Area. So fast forward, in 2020, we'll not be able to get an alternative to car power. Now that's made we contract again car power for 5 years. And I can tell you that for one I remember exactly again. Car power by then was asking for 10-year to 15-year contract. I would say no. Because we do not go there in an emergency situation for 10 years. Well, that will tell you, say, you don't even get plan. But we already get the plans as to how we forget a sustainable and more reliable form of electricity. So we're going to cap our contract in 2020 in July. And I can tell you something, just like how the CA mentioned. The car power contract is mainly divided into two major components. One, we're going to call a capacity component. That is, that capacity, the generator, that is the IPP, it will make available to you, the off-taker, at any time you want. So if I want 50 megawatts, at any time I want 50 megawatts, the car power for it will make that 50 megawatts available to me. So that we call a capacity charge, and it is fixed. The second component in electricity tariff, especially when you buy from IPP, now the variable component, which is the fuel. And the fuel, as at 2020, when we signed this contract, I can tell you, car power was one of the deals with even the World Bank by then, because World Bank, they get issues with car power. But they give you no objection for those sign that contract, because when you look at the capacity by then, and then the fuel cost, it was less than 12 US cents. 12 US cents in 2020. But fast forward in 2021, 2022, when we get this Ukraine-Russia war, we will also see the fuel price go up. And that's making now car power tariff is about 21, 22 US cents. That's all they buy 1 kilowatt. So it is really expensive. And as government, we don't decide to say this is not going to be sustainable. We have to say to acknowledge, and that's maybe we try to push other projects now. Waiting at the project we can succeed car power. Now the Western Area Power Generation Project. I'm sure when I see about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we will say in Gladly we put press release at the ministry for saying they developer they are through the support of DFC, when our US government financing, don't get the money for Campbell, over 100 megawatts of generation plants, where it's not so HFO, this now, then they start with what we call liquefied petroleum gas, that is LPG, which is going to be cheap, and then they transition to LNG. So relatively not the most clean form of energy, but it is high up there. So you cannot consider that as a renewable, but it's a much cleaner form of hydrocarbon, which will also help in the trade on energy. So that project, by the grace of God, we're going to work with the Office of the President very soon for we'll get a groundbreaking. And that groundbreaking can either be maybe at the end of this month or early next month. So I just want to say that is one of the transition projects we look forward to immediately. Secondly, also, we actively engage now with private partners and also good partners for the way of upgrade existing Bumbuna. We almost said during the rains, Bumbuna 9 degree more of the power in Africa. But the way they be design the infrastructure in Bumbuna currently gets an existing infrastructure or an existing potential for let me add 2 more generating turbines in addition to the 50 megawatt turbines that we'll get to now. So if we can just go in there now and put 2 more turbines, it will give you 100 megawatts. Where it means you will safely now be send up to more than 80 megawatts to Freetown, where we will clearly answer the restriction capacity where the Chief Minister mentioned with respect to the 75, 80 megawatts, where we network capacity in Freetown they take. But notwithstanding, we already see all the efforts that so far where they go on. We see from Kington now for go Wilberforce, from Kington for go Black Hole Road. We get a project now where they change the line where they up and then tower we call them reconducting. What does that mean? That the current line where they take about 17, 18 megawatts to Wilberforce. And at the same also to Black Hole Road. But what change then cable now where they do so now, because it's now new technology, we will safely now be sent from Kington to Wilberforce between 28 to 30 megawatts. And that project, by the grace of God, it will be done by the end of June. So these are some of the actions that we, at least when I see, they go on our communities. We also get the project Respite. That is this project, where in 2022, I could remember exactly, somewhere around February or March, His Excellency the President will go to Washington. Based on the agreement we get with her, we talk to the Vice President of World Bank, who will tell and say, we know say capital intervention will be sustainable because now the price of the cost of fuel will don't go up. So President be engaged, His Excellency the President be engaged, the World Bank for say how can we have a developed solution which will also be relatively cheaper for people. So the bank graciously accept for give this government about $75 million grant. And I can tell you that this now we are the only country which initiate this particular project because the president bring this brilliant idea to the World Bank. 3 other countries and benefit from that particular intervention. Liberia is one, Togo is another one, and then Chad is a 3rd country. Fast forward, that project they deployed about 40 megawatts for me, Salonia, 30 megawatts na Newton, also get 6 megawatts currently, and then 10 megawatts na Lungi. And I can assure you again say the procurement process of that particular project is almost at the tail end. And according to the implementation timeline, we will deliver that project in less than 1 year when the contract is signed. So all these are steps for we make sure that we get reduced cost of generation sources. And in that same vein, we will also try for going to Turkey this weekend for local engage car power. For us talk to them, look, because we are good party there now. When we talk to them, for them to see how they will also look at the capacity charge we will only pay for the last 5 years, which is about 5.8 cents, for bring and down small. Talk to them again. This take up a clause within the PP. This take away. So take up we negotiate all of that. So what I'm saying here is these are some of the steps. And we also try to engage CI Energy, CLSG, because CLSG is also relatively cheaper than what we get from Kappa. Even though we know the barriers, but we don't begin the conversation for let we get more supply coming from Ivory Coast. So these are some of the activities that we primarily look at currently. And then you look at presently we get this planet solar within Amakot. We try to upgrade now to 20 megawatts, we call it 10. We get 7 megawatts so they can free time during the day. We also get the 5 megawatts within Bauma, Niamandu, we injected at the Bokelema network. Instead, we add 20 megawatts there. The discussion also ongoing. And we also look at the Big Congo solution. Instead, we don't get PPA ratified in Parliament, and we don't get all the detailed studies where we don't do all the things from the private sector. So I'm rounding up now for saying these are some of the actions in our way we only take in moving forward. Because one thing we also realize as a sector, we need to get a cheaper source of buying power. Because that is will help in financial cash flow for ESA. And then finally, the 6 megawatts, as I tell you, Newton, work presently, they go on at one. And inshallah, by the grace of God, in the next few days, we will begin to see power coming from that end to Kinton. So, family, I just want to end for us to say, these fights, now we all fight. Let me fight them collectively. Let me fight them collaboratively. Because I tell you now, when this blackout been there, and we all suffer. They not pick tribe, they not pick politics, they not pick race, they not pick region. We all suffer. Which is why we want for them to become responsible citizens then for account for whatever service government they provide, they will pay for it. Thank you so much.
Let's small, you want clap. If I want to look at the questions we have received, the minister the way answer they can get the case. They just go into the questions. But it's good we get this opportunity to talk to people. One thing we're very key now with attitude as Leoneans. All these efforts we government make now for provide service for the citizens. If we not embrace her, if we not protect her, above. You see people that set fire at transformer, Leoneans. Then they go put coal, they put fire. Leoneans. You know, if you put fire per pole, if it's not the president's day affect you. No. Now you don't know the purpose or the people in the disturb more. So Now with all responsibility, all this talk with the deputy minister want, all these reforms, all these plans we don't get, no even anything if me and you as Rwandans do not stand up for protect government property. All this being said by the minister, all our plan is the people will make it happen by the Ministry of Finance. So we will also Mrs. Ariasu Ali, let's say with the preparedness, instead of when they do everything they want to do for sustain or fund all things the deputy minister want, very explicitly. Because I want to clap for her. Because I forget for time. Just before we
So don't worry, we're not going to use too much time, okay? Good afternoon, Chief Minister, good afternoon, Honorable Ministers, and good afternoon, the press. So, me and the numbers person, so I'm not going to talk too much. I will just give a small view in terms of what's our commode and how we go with the numbers. If we look, number one notion is that the government has been paying. EDSA, they pay Kapawa every month. The problem, as the Chief Minister said, is that we accrue more debt than we EDSA in for pay. Right? These numbers that are given are not to forecast blame by any institution, any one person, because this we all get inside this year. So we blackouts come, all man suffer. Nobody not sleep fine, place one, all of that. So we therefore all and jointly try to resolve the situation. Like I said before, EDSA, they pay Kapawa every month about 50 million loans, none of it millions, right? On average though, especially in the dry months, I think say the Honorable Minister of Energy, Deputy One, they allude to that small. On average, every month, the bill where they come out, Kapawa, average good month, 5 million. So you see the gap where they bill every month, right? So over the months, finance also, as a government, we normally make payments. So not to this 17 million will pay, they will not to the only payment. As a matter of fact, if you look in the last 6-7 months, we don't pay over $36 million. This is the dollars that we talk. $36 million. So the government in the work, we will make payments, right? The last payment we'll make on April 16, 917 million. Back in September 2023, we make another payment of 15 million. As recently as January, February, we made another payment of which was about 4 million. So the government recognized the importance of light. And we at the ministry, we know say we're supposed to pay for light. However, like the light is expensive. So we build these areas month by month when we work for reduce on a given month. During the dries, a little better in terms of the gap. But for the rains, who's out there now they wait. So we don't make payments, we don't assure Kapawa say, we need to get back and the negotiating table. So, like the minister said, this weekend, we go Turkey, we all go sit down, break apart the agreement, the contracts were there, and we will negotiate, full-blown negotiation. Nothing other off the table. We will negotiate in terms of the fixed payment where we pay. We will negotiate in terms of the take or pay. Now we will negotiate where it becomes take and pay, so that we will not pay for electricity we will not use. But again, the current contract, we will look at them for negotiate so that we will reduce the cost of energy, so that we will get a sustainable service and reliable service to consumers, to all of them. We will include all the third-party energy suppliers who will approach also, because this problem haphazardly. We have to look at them in a holistic way, not in order of the table. It don't grow exponentially since we signed the contract with them. So there is some understanding on their own part, where they bring them to the table. We talk about taking responsibility for we say as consumers then, whether the thief like GR, take this, be the patriot for this country. When blackout day, everybody they suffer. No all thing we lose to small thing. No be conserve too. When you light if light they do in the day, you know they use them, turn your light off so that it don't cost you too much. If you see your neighbor, the thief light, somebody to jump the meter, the preacher, we are not sensitized with people there so that we will come together and solve this problem. We at the ministry, we also take additional steps then in terms of the other ministries then and government agencies then when not they pay their light bill. So we don't, Chief Minister don't give okay so that we in finance go deduct from the allocations then every individual ministries then so that automatically we will pay the light bill just for proper EDSA so to reduce this the gap, the areas, so that government body will go less and we will get a reliable source of energy going forward. We don't see some benefits then, like Octare where the Honorable Minister Deputy one talk about, where directly they go supply the lights to the grid. That one they don't, we still they see some benefits in the Ministry of Finance. Because before, they come ask for duty waivers of fuel and things like that, where in essence, now we subsidize them. But now, they don't stop. So the more we get a solution in terms of reliable, sustainable power supply, the better off we will be. Again, these are the numbers we continue for pay, and we in our government we will make all liabilities in good faith. We don't make a good payment initially to get everybody at the table, and we will continue to.
I think all explanations boils down to one thing. We spend money per energy more than we get. In economics, we get to go disguise unemployment. When your income, when you take care of your daily activities, you are not employed. So as far as energy is concerned, people that burn energy, they need to pay for it. Imagine EDSA, car power, no charge, say 10,000 before pay. Waiting EDSA in collect at 2,000. So the 8,000 not left as debt. So all the suffering people they suffer with energy and because people they consume, then they pay. So now we they consume, we know they pay, our brothers and they consume, then they pay, then we improve. If you see somebody we bypass, if you never tell me. Tell me no. People they take energy, big business, and they need pay. Not so they have more. Some people they use energy for make ice block and other things. So now they have 4-5 freezers and they pay nothing. And are the same people that we like know that they honor by government. So much of the thing we don't get from the horse's mouth. Now I have online questions. The question we already know that online. If I don't read them, you don't ask again. Then the question we already don't answer once you need to talk. You know, I don't see any reason for that attention because the person said we ask, we don't get the answer. So let me just go through, now just go through some of the questions. Chief Minister, as the Deputy Minister of Energy, what specific actions are you taking, have been taken by the government to address the current energy crisis? We have spoken about that. What role do you see renewable energy play in addressing the energy crisis in Sierra Leone? What measures are being taken to attract investment in the energy sector to help alleviate the energy crisis in the country? How do you plan to increase energy generation capacity in the country to meet growing demands? what steps are being taken to improve energy efficiency and reduce waste in the energy sector? Would you please provide an explanation for government decision to abandon state-owned EGTC and the 6 megawatt solar power in Freetown in favor of a more expensive car power ship? What has the Ministry of Energy done in order to restore electricity in our country again? Why keep car power ship as a temporary solution to a permanent problem? Deputy Minister of Finance, why not deposit payments from revenues collected through ESA into car power ship account rather than sending revenue to the consolidated revenue fund? Why can't we be paying car power in units rather than in dollars? Chief Minister, how will the government address the issue of corruption and mismanagement in the energy sector that may be contributing to the crisis? Has the Bureau administration ever considered opening the energy sector to competition from the private sector for generation, distribution, and revenue collection? How would foreign investors and folks from the diaspora stay and invest in Sierra Leone if we are still disposing basic supply of electricity in the capital city? Deputy Minister of Energy, what specific actions are being taken by the government to address the current energy crisis? What role do you see renewable energy playing? I think these are related questions. Okay, new question. Minister of Energy, how sustainable are the thermal power plants in the provinces without heavy consumers with the government subsidies? I think these are online questions. Then the 4 sets of offline questions. 5. Okay. Also the readiness. Okay. First, second. Third, president. Fourth, fifth. First.
Mahmoud Sila is the name from the Nature newspaper. Mr. Minister, 3 of them touch on the area which I want to speak on. That is the area of the MDAs owing EDSA, huge amount of money. I believe this is happening as a result of, the postpaid meters in some of the ministries, the department and agencies. Because if you have prepaid meters, I don't think if the ministry, department and agencies to owe EDSA. So that's my question.
Yeah, the name is John. The question I get that is also Honorable Chief Minister. To this line issue, how is this lines? What's it when the guys come together? For 10 days, this